Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hera TV. My name is Laleh Hancock, and I am one of the Hera advisors, and here to speak to a very special guest. Here's my new friend, Liza Boubari. Welcome.
Thank you, Laleh. It is a pleasure for being here. Actually, I'm truly honored for being selected to be part of Hera and also being here today with you.
No, such a pleasure. And, you've got such an incredible background, and I know that it's probably best if you share your story than for me to try to share it for you. You've had an incredible journey, and like you have in here, healing from within, and it brought you to this particular place in your life. So can you give us a few minutes, a little bit of background about you, who you are, and then kind of what led you to this journey that you're on right now?
Thank you. Sure. The name of my business, my company, my corporation is called HealWithin. And I have a healing center, a small little cottage healing center here in Glendale, California. By trade, today, I am a clinical hypnotherapist, stress management consultant, and also a DV consultant. So my journey began, I believe, from the time that I was a little girl, and I was born in Tehran, Iran. And as a little girl, being an only child, I always dreamt of talking with people and being with people. So in the summer times, I would lay across the bed outside with the net and everything. And I had a small little radio, transistor radio that my grandfather had, and I would put it under my pillow and listen to stories. And it would always start in Farsi was Yeki bud yeki nabud, ghayr az khuda hich kas nabud. So there was a day and a time, and upon a day, once and upon a time, there was, right? And it was like this Persian soap opera every night. And it was about this family or something. And then I used to dream, if I grow up, when I grow up, there's that star. One day I will go and help this person and that person, because I thought that the pain that I had inside, no one knew. And as I grew, fast forward in here in America, after my divorce, actually, it was during my divorce that I had developed an ovarian cyst. The first time I had the surgery, it was a 9.2 centimeters of an ovarian cyst that we had the not a C-section, surgery. And then a year and a half later, I had another surgery when it was the size of an apple, 8.7 centimeters. So I was working as an assistant to attorney, as a paralegal, and I felt I was under a lot of stress. The attorney, we were working 10 hours, 11 hours. He was a trial attorney, and I felt the stress. I was walking around like this. I was on eggshells all the time. And lo and behold, things were happening without me realizing. So the body was taking a lot of the brunt, but as women, we take care of other things before us. And that's maybe not everyone, but that's how I was. So I had immersed all my emotions and everything that was happening, suppressed a lot of the anger, resentment, all that. It was bundled inside. And I was walking, talking, but from the face, from the facade, I like to call it, everything looked great. Well, I had pains. I went to the doctor and he said, I'm sorry, it's growing again. We need to have another surgery. When I came back, actually, during the time I was bawling, and he said, why are you so upset? And I said, I thought by now I would be coming to you for babies, not a cyst. So I came back to the law firm, and the HR director saw me crying, And she said, what's going on? I told her, this is what's happening. I had to have another surgery. And she said, I've got the right person. I'm going to send you to an acupuncturist down the street. And she did. That afternoon, I went to the acupuncturist. He treated me that afternoon and said, come back tomorrow. I went the next day. After the session, I was still crying. And he gave me a piece of paper and said, did you know that hypnotherapy can help with ovarian cysts? What? Did you know that hypnosis and hypnotherapy has direct correlation and can help with ovarian cysts? Well, I knew of a hypnotherapist and I went to her, and in less than 6 sessions, I believe I healed within. So I no longer needed the surgery. And since then, I've never needed any type of surgery or any female medical attention. And a year later, I was sitting at home. I opened the Yellow Pages, if anybody is old enough to know what that is, that big, thick yellow book, right?
Yeah.
So I was doing something and I just happened to kick and it fell and it opened and I came to pick it up and there it was, Hypnosis School in Glendale, California, where I am. So I called 8:30, it was 6:30 at night. I call on a Friday night by sitting home, and the master Gil Boyne picks up the phone, and the rest is history because I went there to see him the next day, signed up the school a year and a half later, left the law firm, and I've never looked back. And that was 22 years ago today.
Oh. Wow, I'm so lucky. How did we get so lucky to have this interview, happening today?
So, we always hear things do not happen to us, they happen for us. So every trauma, every experience, every good, every bad, every right, every wrong, everything has a good intention if we only see what it is for.
Well, one of my things to share with most people is that you can look at anything, whatever's going on in your life, in your health, and you have two choices. You can look at it as, okay, here it's a problem, or you can look at it of, okay, what's the possibility I haven't considered here yet?
Exactly.
Because we can go down each road, and each road takes us to a whole new world. So, there's no right, there's no wrong, but it just takes you down a different journey. And it's so beautiful because, so often we don't, we look at what information we've received as the only information that might help us. And it's not that the doctors were wrong. It's not that surgery wasn't required, because sometimes it is, but it's also finding what works for you, what works for your body. And our bodies are so much more than our best friends. They're just magical healers. And if we do empower them, because if you got some illness going on, there's things that your body has shut off, like whether it's awareness that we're shutting off, or there's other things that are going on, and you got to take those layers off to allow the body to actually do what it naturally can do. And with you, like you,
to us.
Oh, of course it does. And that's why sometimes it's very loud and we think it's all ours,
Yeah. Exactly. So that's the story of how I got to be at HealWithin. Now
beautiful
I help
story.
others heal within, and I make an impact in their lives by shedding that light and giving them exactly what you just said. What if, just for today, you look at it in a different mindset? If you shift a perception, that's all it might take. That's all it may be needed.
Yeah, it's incredible. And I get we are also in an age where more and more people are willing to open up, and be more curious. If we think about this, if we think about like even our mothers, our mothers' generations and our grandmothers, that's what they did. They looked at things from an organic perspective or a natural perspective. of, finding ways to heal our bodies. It's just that there was a generation in there of, medicine for everything. I remember taking my mother to the doctor, and he prescribed her even potassium to treat other. I'm like, can't she just have a banana? It was just like it was so interesting. And then I was like, wait, she's taking this medication as a side effect of the medication, we've
Of course.
turned into this world of pop a pill instead of, hey, let's talk to the body. What does the body require? And what are the alternative ways that you can provide it what it needs?
I mean, just for women, one of the things is like when we have an infection, we are prescribed tetracycline. Now, what does tetracycline create? It's a vaginal discharge. And then we have to go and get another prescription to treat this one. It's this constant treat this symptom, that symptom. But the powers of any kind of a healing or making changes. I mean, what I do as a hypnotherapist, that's my main thing, that how I work is to tap into the subconscious, tap into the body, for all the answers are right there. So the method that I have is called the 3E, which is, let's take everything you said, everything you are here for. Now, let us evoke what was, which is like a lotus turning it. Let us peel away, evoke what was to understand. Maybe all you need is to acknowledge what you're feeling, what the habit is or the behavior. And then you may not need to do anything except just acknowledge it instead of suppressing, not knowing what's going on. It could be pain, it could be discomfort, it could be trauma. And then we come to embrace the reality where we are today, just as I am, only to move forward to what it is that you want in your life. Not what we don't want, but what we want. So that's called my 3E method.
That's wonderful. And I know that you're celebrating in September your 8th year with this, right? So
yes, we turned the 3E into a 3E event, which is an annual women's empowerment event, and it's going to be held September 29th and 30th at Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert in California. So I welcome everyone to join the 3E event.
There you go. And we're going to have information also in the description below, so you'll be able to click there and find out more. We're here because of Hera, and it is Hera TV. And I'm curious, the more you get to know about Hera, what's your thoughts of the future? Let's kind of go forward 5 years. What do you see Hera as?
Hera, I see it as a cocoon.
Oh, cocoon. Okay.
It is this invisible cocoon. We know it as Hera. It is going to be a tangible place. And yet when we think about just imagining all the women who need the safety, who need a place to feel secure, a place of freedom to be who they are, and a place that they can come and know that I can be whatever I want, and yet I am protected, I am safe, I am strong, I have no limitations, and I can bring my children, or I can choose to be by myself. Hera is the place that I call her associated cocoon. And even a cocoon gives birth. So it is how you want to come in, to be accepted, appreciated, validated, and you can crack it, open it, blossom, and be all that you want.
It's beautiful, beautiful. Well, I have one more question before we go. you have people watching, you have a lot of women who are watching this now and in the future. Like, what's your words of advice to women?
Hmm. You know, we have eyes that see beyond and has witnessed so much. Your eyes that looks to you in front of the mirror, I want you to stand in front of that and look, and genuinely look at those eyes with compassion and just say, you matter to me.
Mhm.
Because we sometimes forget that we too matter, besides our family, our parents, our significant other, or our children, even pets and workers, co-workers, neighbors. It seems for so many others come first before we start taking care of ourselves internally. To become strong, we also need to matter and know that the person standing next to me also matters.
That's beautiful. And you're right. I mean, so often we don't. And I think that's one of the things we learn growing up. Also watching, who's the closest to us, our moms, and they become the leaders of our lives. They become our role models. And now's the time and the generation for us to flip that. We have to start from within. And I remember traveling with my twins when they were 9 months old, and they said, like they do on the plane, put your mask on first, before you put it on your loved ones. And I remember just that was the wackiest thing on the planet for me. Like, I have to put it on them first, but now I get it, right? Years later, I get it. But it really is at that moment we forget. And what you said, you look in the mirror and know that you not only matter, but you are such a gift. You are a gift because there's no one like you on the planet. Even if you had a twin sister, there's only one of you. And the gift that you bring into the world, it's needed now more than ever.
Well, no one has the same fingerprint either. And just like today, I had a client, she says, I feel what my sister is feeling. And I'm like, it's impossible for you to feel what she's feeling, but you have compassion for what she is going through. And she said, well, no one had put it in that perspective. So you are so right. No one can feel what I feel. We may think so.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for today. Thank you for all you're doing. And we're going to have your information there if people would like to get a hold of you, and also your amazing event that's coming up in September. And we look forward to seeing you in Hera City as well.
Yes, I look forward to that. Let us empower, let us help every single person stand up, show up, and speak up, realizing that when you express, you give that gift to yourself to say, my voice is absolutely beautiful. And it doesn't matter our color, our gender, our religion, nothing really matters. We are all children of God.
Thank you
for Laleh.
Ending it so beautifully. Thank you everyone for watching. This is Hera. We're so grateful you're here. If you have any questions, you can go to heracity.org. And please do us a favor and spread this around. We want to make sure that everyone has access to know this exists and all the great tools that we're sharing. And we'll see you guys really soon. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.